Hi, I'm Rebecca with Cherish Children Ministries. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to talk with you about retained primitive reflexes and what those mean for our struggling learners.
There is actually a free webinar coming up, so if you would like to register for that, just go ahead and click the link below and get registered, and I'll see you there. This is the introduction video for a series that I'll be doing, so if you're interested in learning about all of the primitive reflexes, what they are, and how to get them retained within your child, join me each week as I'll be releasing a new one.
Retained primitive reflexes can actually cause neurological underdevelopment in some areas affecting learning and behavior and development, vision and sensory processing. Primitive reflexes are the special reflexes that actually develop in the brain before birth. The set of involuntary primitive reflexes help the baby's positioning in the womb and then birthing and then actually taking that very first breath of air, as well as feeding amongst other things. Now, most of the reflexes actually do go away within the first year of the baby's life as higher functions develop of the brainstem. In order for higher level learning to develop, then those reflexes need to be retained so higher level learning can occur. Now, if the reflexes do remain, they actually interfere with the neurological organization of the brain, which actually causes learning and behavioral, social and sensory and health issues. The remaining reflexes are unnoticed muscle movements in older children and adults that would not normally be noticed if one actually didn't know what they were looking for. They do cause just ongoing issues until they are solved through exercises. So what can be done if this does happen? Well, if any of the reflexes do remain past 12 months of age, they are called retained primitive reflexes, and they really are a problem. Now, there are some very simple exercises that can be done to solve every single reflex. The process is actually called integrating primitive reflexes. Now, once they are integrated through a series of just little exercises, many learning disabilities and behavior issues and sensory disorders and even health problems disappear, or at least they're greatly improved. Now, be sure to check each of these reflexes, even if your child is not displaying any unusual symptoms. Now, if one does remain unnoticed, it slows improvement in cognitive function. There is actually a pretty long list of symptoms that happen or symptoms that occur when the reflexes are retained. So because primitive reflexes actually start at the base of the brain, functions that try to develop above them do not wire properly. And it can actually contribute to a lengthy list, such as autism and autism spectrum disorders, Asperger's and hemispheric imbalances, sensory disorders, hyperactivity, ADHD, speech disorders, social disorders, asthma, dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, the immune problems, other health issues, and other learning disabilities. So the first thing that we want to check for is the presence of any retained primitive reflexes. After the primitive reflexes are retained, they actually solve a multitude of problems. Other therapies or brain stimulation like hemispheric integration therapy, which I actually do a course about that, and you can find out more information in the link below about it, but they actually work best if retained primitive reflexes are integrated or are being exercised first, like before starting the brain balanced therapies and the brain balance exercises, or at least at the same time. So a lot of times moms and teachers and different educators that I work with will say, well, how did this happen? Well, first of all, you just need to know it's not your fault. It's not anybody's fault. Sometimes these things just happen. There are many children and adults that for one reason or another just still have more than one primitive reflex remaining. Some causes might actually include like maybe a traumatic birth or a lack of tummy time, or maybe too much time lying in a car seat or a swing, perhaps induced labor. I know for me that was part of our issue, perhaps a traumatic C-section at birth, and most of the time there really is not a known reason for it. But I do want to encourage you, just fear not, okay? Just know that it's going to be okay, and there are simple exercises and assessments that we can do for about 10 minutes every day for a few months. It could be as early as 3 weeks or as late as 6 months, depending on how regular that you do the exercises. So we stimulate the other brain functions with cognitive exercises, and the disabilities often go away or the symptoms dramatically improve. If you like this video, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe and share it with your friends. Again, if you want more information on this, I do courses on this. You can click the link below and access those. Thank you for watching this video.